Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. Today I'll be painting an orchid flower, and I think this is the second time I'll be doing an orchid flower. The first time I did an orchid flower, I really didn't like it because it was a string with a bunch of flowers. Actually, not even a bunch. It was like four orchids in one string, and I really didn't like it. The composition, I didn't like it. So today I'll be doing the same orchid flower, only that I'll be doing only one flower, meaning we will be focusing more on the details of the flower, and we'll do our best to make this as realistic and as dimensional as possible. So the colors will be almost all of them belong to the same shade or to the same range of color. So we have lilac, we have magenta, and I'll be using a darker magenta. Okay, of course, we cannot forget our black, our titanium white. Maybe I'll be using a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm not sure if I'll be using this color to tone the color down. And we have our violet. Okay, so let's begin now. I'm gonna sketch first the subject, and by the way, the background will be black or dark, and we'll be doing a little bit of reflective illusion right here on the bottom to suggest more dimension. Okay, so let's begin now. I'm gonna sketch first the subject. So for the sketch, I'll just be using okay, maybe just maybe a small brush. Okay. In all honesty, guys, I haven't really prepared the colors for this one. Simply because it's late in the evening. Okay. And I I actually planned to do a tutorial today. However, I still had that doubt if I'll be making it because it's late and I still have work tomorrow. But you know what? Painting is my passion, so I will never um, give this up. All right. So I hope you do too. Like, don't give up. Don't give up on your passion. Sometimes, if it, even if even if it's really tiring already, you just have to listen to your body. But even if you feel lazy, okay, even if you feel lazy, that doesn't mean that you are actually tired. Sometimes our brain confuses us how to feel about things. Sometimes we feel just lazy when in fact we're not tired. We're just not feeling it. But once you started doing the painting, everything is everything will just go on naturally. All right, so I'll be using this brush just to sketch the shape of the subject, and I'll be using my magenta. Okay, the colors that were mentioned will be listed in the description box below. So let's begin now. I'm gonna do it. Okay, like straight away. Okay, I love this color. This color pink is just very pretty. It reminds me of candy. It reminds me of candy, of cotton candy. I really don't like cotton candy, by the way. It just reminds me of that color, of that candy. Okay, so we're just gonna do. It's like a simple butterfly, like butterfly shape, like that. We will be doing some adjustments if necessary, but for now, let's just go with this. So this will be like the center. And as I mentioned, or as I always mention, Adjustments will be made if necessary. Okay. For now, let's just do the general shape of it. We can always what do you call this? Retract from the original sketch, without, however, substantially changing the shape. Okay. So that's what I learned from my continuous practice of painting. Just go for it. Don't be scared. It's fine. Okay, now, so you can see here, it's not really balanced, right? That's intentional because the flower is like placed on a diagonal position, at least from the perspective side of things. So the reflections will be down here. So it will make sense later. But for now, let's add some drama to it. Because if I paint it just like, like straight looking at us, like super flat, doesn't it doesn't appeal to me. You know me, I love some sort of uh, not symmetrical things. Okay, now I'm gonna use my larger brush so that we can get larger coverage in one stroke. So I'll be getting my pink still, okay? And I'm just gonna color it with this color. This is really, really, I think it's one of the easiest um, tutorials. I'm just guessing, okay? But based on practice, since there are not really super complicated details here, or there will not be any super complicated details unless I go crazy, uh, it's very simple. And again, as I mentioned, the background color will be black. So we will be painting the spaces that you see on the sides of this flower. I did not do the background first because it will be a waste of paint for me. If I background it with black and then cover it with a huge pink color, with a huge uh, space for pink, so and it will just ruin the vibrancy of this pink color, black, right? If it's some other color, maybe that would make the pink color brighter, like dark magenta. But this is opaque enough to cover the tooth of the canvas. And I'll be using the same magenta color, only that I'll be adding the dark magenta so that you get to separate the this back petal, at least visually separating it. I don't know if it works for you. If it's your own if it or if you're just painting for yourself, I mean, no one's looking at you like me. Like I'm teaching. That's why I want you to see where the separation lines are. Yeah. So this will help. However, if it's just you, you can simply continue with the pink, with the magenta color. Me, I'm just using this just to separate it. Okay. Okay. Just like that. And of course, we'll be using again some dark magenta. This is the underpainting, by the way. This is not the actual color. The color is similar, however, it's not the final look that we're trying to achieve here. You know what? I think the weather is affecting my mood. Today was very rainy, in all honesty. It's spring already, but the weather here is still winter very wintry. And not that I am surprised, but I just, um, like I told you, my mood is affected by the weather. Okay, I'm gonna get my magenta, and I'm just gonna use it full on right on this area. And I'm not even washing my brush. I'm just allowing the colors to just be there. Okay, and remember, okay, this side. Okay, and I forgot this area. Okay, just like that. Okay, now while we're still waiting for this to dry, I'm just gonna get my black and let's proceed to backgrounding it so that we don't waste more time. I'm just gonna put on the black color straight on the canvas. This is a super old paint of mine. That's why I am trying to consume the paint as soon as possible because they're super old. Like I was still in Korea when I got them. All right. And I will do a second coating. I hope that the weather, gets better and better. Today it was just all wet and even snowy in the morning. I couldn't believe it that it's already April. I can't believe it. It's snowing. Not that the weather has to follow a certain pattern because, different places, different weather. So, not that it should, but this is the first time that I'm experiencing snow in spring. It's not very usual. Okay. Okay, I will go back to the background later once it's finished. Once the flower is finished, so that we can make it more solid looking. Let's go back to the flower. I think I can relayer now, okay, because it's pretty much dry. And we can fix the shape of the flower because it's not really perfect as the shape. Okay, let's go back to the flower now. So I'm gonna go back to the flower. I'll be using the brush that I was using earlier. Okay, and then I'll be getting my violet. So I'll be getting my violet, and I'm just gonna use a bigger brush. I changed my mind. I'm gonna use a bigger brush. I'm gonna use my violet plus magenta, the light magenta color. And I'm just gonna make some like muddy pink color, muddy violet, just along the edge. And then pull it in towards the center of the flower. And you can tell that my paint is really watery. And that's good because the more watery your paint is, the more it creates the patterns that we would not have achieved if we were just simply using our usual brush strokes and brush, of course. Okay, now I'm gonna get my white without washing my brush. I'm just gonna go and apply some white paints, but again, on a similar fashion or in a similar fashion, I'm just gonna drag it all the way in or towards the center of my orchid. Okay, like that. I'm gonna slightly pull some colors right here. Just pull it in. Okay. And then I'm gonna use a small brush. I'm gonna get my white. And I'm just gonna color the edge of this flower. And just like that. Okay. And of course my fingers. It's not yet done. It's very preliminary, really. Okay. We will be adding more highlights later. For now, let's just allow this first layer to be there. All right. And I'm going to use the same white color. Let's proceed. Okay. Let's go. Drag that paint. I'm going to make some adjustment right here. As you can see, I am making my petal like a little bigger. And I have a purpose. I need to correct some areas. Okay, and since we adjusted it, I'm gonna dab onto my pink and color that area. Just that space, okay, because um, we added a little bit of thickness here. And it's okay if it's not if it's not applying well. Just grab your violet again, just like what we did here. And actually, I should have used a bigger brush, but I'm already at it, so I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, pull it in towards the center. I'm gonna add water. Okay. And then I'm gonna get my white, same manner. Again, this is very preliminary. Don't think that this is it. Again, your brush strokes should be always towards the center. Towards the center, or at least like that's the, what do you call that? The meeting point. Okay. For all the patterns on your petals. Mhm. Again, that's very preliminary. Let's continue. Okay. Gonna mix my violet and magenta. And let's add some colors right here. I'm making the back petal darker simply because it's in the back. It should not be the highlight. It should help in creating the painting more dimensional. Okay. I'm going to create some darker colors right here. But only for purposes of adding dimension. I just got some some purple and black. Okay. And then I'm gonna dab onto my pink and white. Let's just continue. Okay, just like that. Right here as well. I remember, I think this is the third time, not the second time, because I think last year I did also one orchid painting, orchid flower. So yeah, I forgot, but I now I remember. I just remembered it suddenly. I'm just gonna dab onto my white and let's create some highlight around the edge or along the edge. Just like that. I'm gonna dab onto my violet again. Violet, please. Here. But I'm not really washing my brush, so the violet, the white, and the pinks are still there. Okay, I'm gonna switch to a much cleaner brush. Again, violet, just pure violet right here. Okay, and then pure magenta over here. Also down here. Giving it more bloody type of color. Okay, like that. Right. Let's use some white. And let's create some patterns inside the flower. Right here. So these are just patterns inside the orchid. And now we can relayer it with some pure white. Okay. And also the back. Mhm. Okay, I'm gonna mix it with magenta and okay. Okay, and also right here, just lighten this part. I'm gonna use a little bit of black just to make some separation. Okay, like a little something right there. Because we still want some depth. Even if I don't want to use black for this flower, I just can't do away with with black. It's just my staple color. It has to be there. I have to use black. I'm gonna darken some areas, all right? Just to give it dimension. Here and right here. Okay, now I'm gonna use a smaller brush. I'm gonna dab onto my magenta, pure magenta, and then let's create some patterns on the petals. This will be glazed over later, but we have to already draw this markings. Okay, now let's do the same thing with white. I'm gonna dab onto my white. I'm gonna water it down and I'm gonna make some markings as well. But it's watered down. Again, water it down. And then white here. We're gonna soften this area. Right. I'm gonna get some violet. And then I'm gonna get my black. Again, this subtly separate it. I'm just gonna use some white, but I'll be removing the excess water. And I'm just gonna apply some white colors right here. And here. And some light colors right here. And move it in a rotating motion. Right here. So. And here as well. Just rotate. Okay. Don't make any straight patterns. Rotate because you know When you rotate your brush, you create patterns that are more natural looking. And I know some um, will say that you will be ruining your brush. Well, it's up to you. You ruin your brush or you create this painting. Right. Same manner right here. It's rotated. I'm gonna get my white again. I'm just gonna go around the area, along the edge. And then I'm gonna combine my violet with my dark magenta. Let's create some more veins. Okay, just like this. Adding some water to my paintbrush so that when I drag it, it creates that pattern. Okay, like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Let's create some. Okay. And then pure magenta. And black. I forgot that we'll be using a little bit of orange, but let's do that later. I'm gonna get some purple and black, and let's underpaint. Okay, it's too black. Let's make it a little more on the grayish side. Okay, just like that, just to close it. And here's okay, some violet gray color. Okay. And then some white right here. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna get some white. And some more white. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna get my purple again. Okay. Let's add some folds. Okay, like that. Okay. I haven't really looked at it from the point of view of the camera. Okay, great. I'm gonna get my orange because I totally forgot that I'll be using orange. So I'm just gonna get my orange, all right? And again, the colors that I mentioned will be listed in the description box. So I'm gonna get my orange plus red just to make it quite dark. Let's create some details inside this flower. You can see you can hear some doors closing and opening. Neighbors. Okay, I'm gonna dab onto my pure magenta. And let's create some patterns. Okay. Let's apply some pinks. Purpley pink actually. Right here. Okay. A little bit of shadowing. Okay, now I'm gonna get my white and I'm gonna brighten a bit. I'm gonna brighten a bit this area. Just brightening it a bit. And also some white spots. Okay. So just white markings. Like that. And white markings right here. The key to creating these markings is to water down your paint and just tap And then you create markings that look more natural. Okay. I'm gonna get some light orange and some dark magenta. Just separate it. I'm just gonna clean some areas here. Let me check. Okay, now let's go to the reflection before we go back to the details of this, okay, because this is still wet. I need to make some more details inside this flower. So let's proceed to doing some reflections. Okay, for the reflections, I'm just gonna get some black and white. We're gonna use a grayish color, okay, like this. So it's more of an illusion of reflection. Okay. I hope that you can see. Yeah, you can see it because I can see it on camera. Okay, just like that. So it's more of an illusion, really. Okay. It's like, mhm. I love it. Now I'm gonna use my black. Let's just use our black to create more illusion. And separate as well. Mm. See, so it does look like it has an illusion, like it has some reflections. And let's go back to cleaning. And when I say clean, it means that you go around the sketch again, the shape of your subject, and make sure that there are no lines outside the sketch line or outside the line. Okay, now I'm gonna use my black just to darken some certain areas. All right, just like that, darkening certain areas to make it appear more, just in the background. They're not really overpowering anything. They're just there. Okay, now I think I need to use a cleaner brush, or because we'll be using pure white. Okay, again, go back to the shape of this flower. Keep going back. Any sketch line that you see that is just too hard, looks cartoonish, you can definitely thin the line. You can thin the line. Let's go back to this. I'm gonna get some more on the gray color. So gray. Don't forget the gray color. Sometimes the colors, when you just look at the object, they appear white, or they seem like white, but when you really, really look at the object, it's not really white. It's more of gray, toned down. Everything is just toned down. I'm gonna make some tiny markings here. Okay, so I'm just using white, and I also want you to observe how I do it. Sometimes I cannot just talk and talk and talk and explain to you. You have to observe how things are done. You also learn that way. I learned that way, by the way. I learned by watching people how to paint, not just by listening to what they're talking about. Sometimes the words we say just don't match with what we're doing. Sometimes I make a mistake by saying, oh, I'm using yellow, and then I'm actually using brown. So if you just listen to me without observing me how I'm doing it, you probably will commit a mistake too. So I don't want you to just depend on what I'm saying. Try to observe, try to feel it without having to actually feel it, literally feeling it. Try to observe. Okay, now let's proceed to detailing the center. Yes, let me just check. Absolutely nice. And we will be using only a tiny bit of yellow. We will not be using too much of it. I'll be getting my yellow plus orange. And let's apply some yellow colors. Okay, and then some dark magenta. Some markings using dark magenta. Right. So I'm watering down this magenta color and I'm applying it to create some patterns. Okay. I'm gonna get tiny bit of white. Tiny bit, okay? Just to make things more dramatic on the reflection. And then more white. And let's create some like that. Gray this down. Right. Let me check. Mm-hmm. Gonna get some more yellow. Okay, and tiny bit of detail. Your white. And then let's get our black. Just clean it. Okay. Again, by cleaning it, I mean you go along the edge. Let me check. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so I think I'm gonna sign this now. What do you think? Or maybe more gray color? All right, let me check. Okay. I think I can glaze it a bit with a little bit of magenta. Just water down your magenta color or your pink. And you want to make sure that somehow you still want this orchid to be on the pink side. All right. All right. Okay, I'm going to sign this now. For the signature, I'm just going to use my white. I'm going to sign right here. Okay. So we're finished, guys, and I hope you enjoy this one. And I hope you paint along with me. If you're painting along with me, let me know in the comment section below. If you painted along with me in the past, let me know as well in the comment section below. So see you in my next one and have a great day. Bye, guys. Love you.